up, guys? Welcome to another Ronin review. This one's a little bit different than what we usually do. This is not a fight stick. This is not a video game peripheral. This is a drone, and I am accompanied by our good friend, Ben. Let's just kind of jump into the meat and potatoes.
The Mavic Pro is without a doubt an impressive piece of technology. Coming in at just 7.8 inches and just a little over 1.5 pounds, you can now see and capture the world like never before with its 3-axis gimbal and its 4K camera. But now, after spending some time with it, let's myself and my buddy Ben take you through the best and the worst of the DJI Mavic Pro.
So let's kind of talk about some of the pros and the features of this. So, lay it on me. You've got the controller. This hooks up to your phone.
Put your phone right in there. You can squeeze it for your tiny iPod Touch or your big iPhone Plus.
Or your Android.
Or your Android, whatever. And yeah. And then you can fly it without the phone, but then you just can't see what the camera's showing.
Oh yeah, so the phone really just kind of serves as a camera operator. Well, you can operate the camera with your triggers too.
Well,
right?
you can see what the camera is showing on the phone, but you can control the camera off of the remote control here. Yeah, it does a lot of different, you return to home, pause your automated flights, different options.
Let's talk about speed, height. What is the max speed on this bad boy?
So it's 2 modes. P mode's like your standard mode, and sport mode. In standard mode, I think it's topped out at 22 miles per hour, and that will enable the vision system to avoid forward obstacles. Sport mode goes up to 40 miles an hour. With the tailwind, I've hit 44. So.
And that sport mode though kills battery though, right?
Sport mode is going to use more battery, and you don't get any obstacle avoidance. So in the front,
I didn't know that.
You'll crash right into something at a high rate of speed.
We should do a new test with it on sport mode right at our faces.
Hard pass. Technically capable of going 1,600 feet above the takeoff point. That's a limit put on by DJI. It's not so much the atmosphere, it's just they only allow you to go 500 meters above your takeoff point.
Oh, interesting.
16,000 feet highest operating level as far as atmosphere and air.
That's ridiculous.
Thinness. So if you took off from the top of a 14er, you could go a few thousand feet up still.
Let me ask you this now, because there's some things that a lot of people that are buying drones or thinking about buying drones might not be considering, but there are some aviation things in place that a lot of people don't know about them when they just buy it willy-nilly.
Yeah, the FAA has a pretty good handle on even hobbyist drone use. So if your drone's above 0.55 pounds, you need to register with them and get your little FAA certificate number. It costs $5 and it's good for 2 years, I think.
Okay. You
can put it on any drone. It's not to the drone itself. So if you had 3 drones, you could just have one certificate for all 3.
Sure.
Kind of your number. And that's for hobby use. If you want to use it commercially to do stuff like this video or other things, you need to get what's called a Part 107 Remote Pilot in Command license or something like that. Which I've done. I studied for like 2 weeks and went down to a testing center and took the exam, so I'm an FAA certified remote pilot.
Now does that, so we're here where we are is within range of an airport. So when you're within range of an airport, there's restrictions, yes? Yeah,
so we've got the Fort Collins Loveland Airport about 4 miles away from us, and there's a 5-mile radius around that airport. It's a Class E airspace, so that's ground level to 12,000 feet, I think. But you're only allowed legally to fly this 400 feet above where you took off anyways. So when you're within that radius, you just have to call the tower or email the tower like I've done through their website and say, hey, I'm flying here on this day, these times, and I've never gotten any kickback. I assume they'll call me and say, hey, can't do that if they had some other flight. Some other flight that was going to be taking place in this area. So.
Sure. And I think that's kind of one of the things I wanted to focus on, because there's I've watched so many reviews lately of the product, and everyone's just talking about, oh, you know, it's cool, it does this, this, and this, it's a really fantastic piece of tech, which it is, but there's a lot of actually other things behind the scenes that you need to be aware of before you buy a drone and fly it, which I had no idea about until Ben got it and was telling us about it. So there's some PSAs there. Don't fly like a jackass until you kind of know your rules. That said, we'll get back to the drone itself. We're not gonna lie, it's fantastic. This is the second drone I've played with. My dad has one that's not nearly as cool. This is blowing my mind as a piece of technology. The things that it can do for film and, you know, just overall cinematic quality is just through the roof. This really changes the game for independent filmmakers. But there are some caveats to that, because I feel that there are some things that I think could be better.
It's right now, it's such a new product. They're hard to find. Accessories are hard to find. So it's got a maximum battery life of 27 minutes. My longest flight time has been 23 minutes based on how hard you fly it, your speed, your altitude, all that. And with only one battery, it takes about an hour to recharge it. So it's kind of a bummer, that downtime. So I guess the only downside is that I'm not able to purchase any more batteries at this time.
Yeah,
because they're hard to find.
So product accessory availability is kind of a bummer at the moment. That'll probably clear up probably after the first of the year, once this is kind of in circulation. The battery life is really short on the unit. You found that the battery life on the controller itself is like out of control, right?
Well, yeah, we flew for about 20 minutes already, and it's still at 96% when this one was at 15%. So I assume that's because if you had multiple batteries for the unit, you could probably fly for
indefinitely, you know, because you could, like we talked about,
hours and hours on end, just switch your batteries in and out. The battery time is a bummer, but it's pretty average to on the better end of most of other drones. You know, like a Phantom 4 flies for about the same time range, maybe 30 minutes. The new Inspire 2 holds 2 battery packs. I think that can go for 40 something minutes.
So it's really just a limitation of the technology at this time.
Yeah, I think it's just to have a drone this size and a battery that's really not that big. Now, this is a really small drone. You know, you can really fold it up into quite a small package. I've been putting it in a really small SLR low pro bag. You know, there you go.
Yeah.
The battery's not in it at this point, but
it looks like
it's tiny. So there's the battery compartment.
We have the battery off and charging.
Yeah, it's charging right now.
And the one thing we should talk about just real quick and touch on is obviously this is a premium product, and we have discussed this before with other things that are pricey. This isn't just like, well, I think I'm gonna go buy a drone today. Like, this is a huge investment. This is $999.99. So 1 penny shy of that 1K. And then, you know, with DJI, you just go up from there. Get the Phantom 4 Pro is what, $1,500?
$1,500 to start at the new Phantom 4 Pro, $3,000 to start at the Inspire 2. Inspire 2 is a professional filmmaking device unit.
So that's the one I want. But that's the thing. If you're getting into buying drones, you really need to research the product and see if it's something you're going to use, because this is a huge investment. Although, in our experience, at least in my opinion, I do think it is worth $1,000 out of the quality that you get. And you can make that judgment for yourself based on the footage that you're looking at all throughout this video. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, that's kind of our quick review on the DJI Mavic Pro. This has been, if you really want to kind of ask him some questions, maybe he's willing. There's his Twitter. Here's my Twitter. I don't have really as much knowledge as he does, but there it is. Guys, thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for saying hi to Ben. And thanks for looking at my ugly mug again. Oh, guys. Nips.